Back in 1988, my cousin and I were introduced to G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Well, we didn't know it was a real American hero at the time. We just thought he was an international hero. And that's what it said on the Dutch or Belgian packaging. International heroes, de internationale helden. I was 4 years old at the time, my cousin was 6. We enjoyed the toy immensely. I remember, funnily enough, back in the day you could buy it just in a normal supermarket. The figures were extremely dirt cheap, like 80 or 85 Belgian francs, which is less than 2.50 euro nowadays. So even inflation wise, you're looking at a $5 or $6 figure. Very cheap. Vehicles were cool, playsets were awesome. My mom didn't really like G.I. Joe, but of course with enough nagging and begging I got some figures of my own. My cousin sold off his stash on flea markets in the mid-90s, and funnily enough now he's 43. It's his birthday tomorrow and he asked for some G.I. Joe. I warned him, I said you're gonna regret it someday. Now he's a father of his own, he has 2 sons, and he says I wish I kept my Joes. So what did I do? I found a Joe for him to give him tomorrow as a birthday present, and it's a very special one. It's my favorite G.I. Joe. Well, actually it's a Cobra. It's Road Pig. I don't know if the camera will pick up on the finer details. Focus. Anyway, Road Pig, why of all, what is it, original 350, 1982 to 1994 run, why of all figures, why of all action figures this one? This is a Cobra, or Joe, that closely resembles my uncle and my cousin's father. So when we were playing with Road Pig as a kid, we were always saying like, hey, it's your dad, it's my dad. So of course this is the one I had to pick up for him again. Thank you to Danny Schobben from the Belgian G.I. Joe club. He sold it to me for a mere €10 or $10, even with, let's see, his accessories. There's just one accessory missing. Here he is. So he's just missing sort of a weird rectangular piece. You're not really missing anything. Great stuff for $10. Thank you, Danny. So a few years ago I had to pick up a mint on card Road Pig, because of course it is my favorite Cobra, my uncle. Here he is in all his glory. These are, by the way, IKEA how would you call them, frames, photo frames, but they are great for Joes. They are great for displaying Joes. Sadly, they don't make these anymore, so I can't buy any more. I just have a few that I bought in the past. This one, by the way, came with a free metallized Super Trooper action figure with 4 special proofs of purchase and $1 handling. Yeah. This is the American edition, by the way. This is not a Belgian mint on card figure. This is the fully posable modern army figure. Then I also found the oldest in my collection, the Techno Viper. If I'm not mistaken, this one's from '86. Get a free fridge action figure. This one still has the original prize, the American prize on there. So this is again an American one. It says this was bought in Child World Children's Palace at a hour low price of $2.79. $2.79 is a Tiger Force. This is a Dutch one, well, a Belgian one. So it says volledig beweegbaar actiefiguur. Accessoires zijn onderling uitwisselbaar, which roughly translates to fully posable action figure and interchangeable accessories. This one's called struikeldraad in Dutch, or artificier in French. And funnily enough, it says that it's only, well, it's not a, most of the time toys are like forbidden for 0 to 3 set onions, to quote Ashens. This one's only from the age of 5 and up, so actually quite, you have to be quite old to be able to play with Joe. Lovely action figure and in excellent condition. The card is super minty. Love it to see it displayed. This one's a lot taller. If you can see, the card is a lot taller, so that's why I had to pick up a bigger frame. And then I also found my old box, my old box. This is the box full of Joe goodness from my youth. So let's see what we can find. I haven't opened this box in years, so I hope it won't be too embarrassing. Yeah, to start off with something embarrassing, this is one of the modern figures from the first movie. These are quite craptacular, but I couldn't pass it up for $0.75. Yeah, marked down from 10 or $9.95. $0.75. That's a great price. That's even cheaper than they were in the 80s. A DVD with the corny old, well, not commercials, the corny old cartoon. This is luckily in English with Dutch subtitles. 180 minutes. That's a great value. 3 hours of Joe vintage cartoons. What's this? What's this? What's this? There's magic in the air. What's this? Aha! This is a Storm Shadow that just fell apart. So here are his legs, his torso, his crotch, and his backpack. Now he looks like Darth Maul, to be completely honest. Here's another sealed one, the Flag Viper. This is a more modern one, I think 92 or 93, let's see. 91. So again, an American one. In quite the great condition. Can I show you? Because of course, with the reflection of the plastic, look at this. It is quite minty fresh. This one is very dear to my heart. Back in '89, I went to Florida with my parents. My first big international trip and my first time in America. And I remember there was I wish I could remember for the life of me, I was 5 years old. There was some toy store, probably Target or I don't know, KB's. What was it back in the day? FAO Schwartz. No, that's in New York. Anyway, I found this one. I found Lightfoot, and as a 5-year-old, I picked it up. I thought he was cool with his yellow spandex. But then I lost him, sadly. I lost my original figure. So when I had the chance to pick up a minty on-card Lightfoot, even though it's not the most popular of figures, this is just very, very nostalgically dear to my heart. I don't even know what he does. What does he do? He's like using a very weird contraption, sort of robot-esque. And he was born in Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, isn't that where Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz is born? Lightfoot has memorized all of them, as well as all the conversion tables for foreign and non-military explosives. He's not taking any chances. And then there's a quote, Lightfoot has elevated being careful to an art form. You might say he's a Zen fuzzbudget. I have no idea what that means. His eyes sweep the ground before him in measured quadrants, alert for tripwires, signs of digging, and out-of-place vegetation. He sniffs the air for that telltale plastic explosive smell of dead rubber. Lightfoot may take twice as long to clear an area, but at least you won't get any nasty surprises. The plastic smell of dead rubber. It's funny because if you think about it, he smells like plastic too. A vintage VHS, Geen schijn van kans, which translates to not a chance in hell. And this one includes the Free Willy story. Yeah. Why? I found this tape in a thrift store, but it was an empty case. So I put something else inside. A G.I. Joe Resolute DVD, still sealed. 2.50. A Cobra Hydro Attack. Yep. Look at this. The seal has gone loose, so darn. That's the problem with these old on-card or minty things. Eventually the seal just loosens. A picnic tray from my cousin originally. So when he sold it off, I picked it up. And a accompanying dust bucket or dustbin. I think Ropik was on here somewhere. I thought he was, but now I can't seem to find him. No road pig. What's inside? G.I. Joe carrying case for 3 figures. Some crap. Loose parts. Another. Whoa! The bag is disintegrating before my eyes. Woo. Look at this. That's what you get for using biodegradable bags. There's a dog tag. Whoa, camouflage. Here's a pin. G.I. Joe. And here, so who was included in the biodegradable bag? I think it's, what's his name? Like Viper or something. Anyway, he had a scorpion. And in the 90s, I tended to collect, here's his crotch. I tended to collect all Joes with animals because I like my animal companions. Here's a Joe fish again. This is the Cobra Imp, still in the box. This one does not belong in a Joe. And then last but not least, here's my original box. So when I was a kid, I wrote down G.I. Joe Popjes, which is Dutch for action figures. Here's a scorpion and some accessories from a this is like a talking backpack with 4 sounds. Do they still work? No, I think I removed the batteries, which would be the smart thing to do. This is as you can see, this is a road pig variation. So there was a road pig with orange hair. Why? I don't know. My uncle never had orange hair. A few more of mine. So here's what's his name? I think Outback, right? Not the Tiger Force Outback, because I've heard that that's a very expensive one. One of my favorites as well. A guy with a ski outfit. In Dutch it was called Blizzard, and that may be his English name. Cyforce, both original and in Tiger Force. Cyforce was my very first Joe, and the Tiger Force was also from my cousin. What else? Here's again half a Joe. I think this one came with a backpack of a real parachute. Great stuff. Some more Joes. This is the one that came with the fish. And last but not least, I had a fake backpack. So I didn't know at the time. I thought it was a real one, but it doesn't say G.I. Joe. It says Commando Force. So my grandparents picked up a fake G.I. Joe backpack with a fake walkie-talkie and a fake water bottle. Well, a real water bottle. But you could put like 4 Joes inside and even some accessories. Why was it a fake one? No idea. And here's my here's the parachute that never worked. I think I was a little too young to get it to work, so I ruined it. I ruined it the first time I tried it. Got all messed up. But on the packaging it says that it's a working parachute. And here's a just one issue of the comic, because this one features the Defiant, and that's perhaps another story I could tell, or the last thing I could tell. As a kid, I was obsessed with space travel, space exploration. The first Belgian in space was in '92, Dirk Vriendhout, and that was like huge news at the time. So we were all obsessed with space travel for a very short while in the 90s. And I was obsessed with the Defiant space shuttle from G.I. Joe. I just thought it was the coolest toy ever. And I remember seeing that, like the huge box in toy stores. There was even like a competition in participating toy stores. You could win one of 100 Defiants. They gave them away for free. Well, it was of course with a sort of a raffle, or I don't know what you had to do. But I never got the Defiant, and it was of course super expensive. And it only became more expensive if you, I think if you want a Defiant nowadays, it's like, I don't know, $1,000. And 10 or 11 years ago, There was a Belgian selling a Defiant, not in the box, not, I think, like 98% complete, still had the 2 figures. Some bits and pieces broke off, the durability of the plastic just, well, eroded. And I just said, well, I think he asked like 500 or 600, which was even back then a good price for a Defiant. I said, sorry, I'm a poor student, I can't pay you that kind of money. And he just said, well, make me an offer. And I said, well, I only have 250. He said, okay. So I got my Defiant 98% complete for 250, which is a good deal. Sadly, I don't have the space to put it anywhere, so it's like gathering dust in my garage. So I just hope one day to be able to like display it to its fullest capabilities, like the majestic toy that it still is. I'm still in awe of just how they made it and how they put it on the market. It's the same with the USS Flagg, the biggest and the most expensive Joe toy ever. It's just so huge and so awesome, and just why did they just the molds? I want to see the original molds, because back then there was no computer, there was no 3D printing, just the molds, and they only used it once. Well, for the Defiant they used the upper part again for the, what was it, like the Challenger? No, that's the ill-fated 86 Space Shuttle. What was it called? Anyway, the Crusader, I think. Yeah, Crusader. Sorry, not the Challenger. Rest in peace, dear crew. But yeah, the Defiant and especially the USS Flagg, just the mold was used only once. What a dedication. Who releases a 7-feet toy? Anyway, this is my tribute to G.I. Joe, which started with my cousin turning 43, and I wanted to give him a road pig because he resembles my uncle and his father. And it's been sort of a trip down memory lane. I still love G.I. Joe. It's one of the greatest toys of the 80s. And it's sadly super expensive to collect nowadays. So I won't be collecting any more Joe anytime soon. But what a great childhood memory.